What is up, YouTube? It's me, John Avenger, once again. Welcome back to another Marvel review. And this is the 2005 film that I think is kind of underrated, because a lot of people I know didn't care for this film. But with the new one coming out in August, I want to just give this one another, I wanted to talk about this film because it was the first one of its kind in the theater. And that is the very first theatrical film of the Fantastic Four. Yeah, I actually don't mind this movie. I know a lot of people hated this film when it came out. I do have my problems with it. I mean, the pros, though, in my opinion, just weigh out the cons. The things I liked about the film is, I thought that the film looked good. I thought Tim Story did a good job with some of the cast. I thought the special effects looked really good. For 2005, it still looks pretty good. There were some practical effects like the thing wasn't fully CGI like he is in the new film, and I like the makeup. I think Chris Evans is fantastic as a Human Torch. I don't think Michael B. Jordan's going to be as good, not because he's black, because it doesn't make any sense why they would cast someone like him to play the Human Torch. It's just off-putting. But anyway, Michael Chiklis does a good job as the thing. He did the great voice. He says it clobber time, and he looks good in the costume and the makeup. Uh, I also don't, the movie's not too long. It's about like it says 106 minutes. It's still shorter than like Man of Steel or Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2 or any of that. And it flows pretty well. I have three main gripes of the film. Like I think Jessica Alba and Ewan Grufford, they're kind of boring as the leads as Mr. as Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic. I think they could have casted anybody else. I have a feeling that in the new film, at least Kate Mara will be better than Jessica Alba because she's a better actress. And Miles Teller, even though he looks younger, at least he's American. He won't have to fake an accent like Ewan Grufford did. So that's a plot positive for the next film. Also, the film needed a little bit more action. There's some action in the film, but I wanted more. And because I noticed I saw this film again a couple months ago, and I do like it still, but I think there could have been more action sequences. And also the villain, Doctor Doom could have been done a lot better. I mean, I don't think he's horrible. He looks cool, but you could have picked a better actor than Julian McMahon. I mean, come on, the guy from Nip Tuck, that's Australian. I think they could have picked 100 other actors that would have done a better job as Doctor Doom. Because while this movie's not perfect, it is better than the 1994 TV movie that came out that Roger Corman did, which looks really cheap and kind of off-putting. I mean, they tried, but I like this film for what it is. I saw this in the theater. I had fun. It's lighthearted, so it's not too dark for your kids. It was PG-13 when it came out, and it was a huge hit for the summer. I don't think the movie's that badly written. I know a lot of people hate on this, and especially the sequel. But well, I'll be reviewing that one next time. Uh, I just think I've been a fan of the Fantastic Four. I know a lot of people hate them. I think they're an underrated superhero family team. I like the other characters they have in it, like that little robot that they had. Their other adventures that they've had in the cartoons. I think they're underrated. I don't find this movie to be horrible. I've seen superhero films in the last 5 years that were far worse and they had bigger budgets than this. I have fun with it. I mean, Tim Story is not the worst director in the world. At least with the action, I can actually see it. I can see uh, Doctor Doom. Hold on. I can see Doctor Doom attacking people with his electricity. I can see Human Torch flying. I can see Thing throwing things and smashing things. I can see the whole bridge scene where Mr. Fantastic grabs that guy and saves him. I can actually see what's going on. A lot of these films nowadays are just do quick cuts and I can't see a thing. But it is what it is. I think it's a decent movie. It's not great, but I can have fun with it. It's not too long. It doesn't take a lot of my time, and it's just overall fun. Despite some of the casting and some lack of action, I think the film does work though for what it is. And the fun tone is still here. The new film, I don't think is going to capture it. It looks too much like Interstellar, and the darker tone might not work. This is a very lighthearted comic book adaptation, and it should be that way. Not too jokey where it becomes a cartoon. Like, there are some jokes that don't work, but there are some things that made me laugh, especially Chris Evans. He did a huge transformation. He went from this to being Captain America, and it was a great transition. It was a great move for his career, and I love him in those films. And this is the way I saw him in the theater the first time. It was in this, and I said, you know what, that young guy has a lot of talent and there's promise, and he definitely fulfilled that. And I like the Fantastic Four movie. It is what it is. It's not trying to be high art. Avengers is definitely way better, but I'm not going to say this film was sucked. I really did have fun in the theater, and I like owning it. I finally got the widescreen version because I had the full screen version for many years, and then I sold it because I couldn't see what was going on. And yeah, I think the film is underrated. It's not that bad. I mean, there are worse films that I saw, but that's Fantastic Four. I hope you guys, if you haven't watched it, I would say give it a shot. It's not going to kill you. Uh, you know, uh, there are way worse films that Marvel did and DC and other comic book movies that have come out, like The Spirit. That was horrible. It's not as bad as that. So I would say it's underrated. But that's Fantastic Four from 2005, a fun, underrated gem from '05 that I saw in the theater. So didn't hurt me. I like it. It is what it is. And thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking my videos. Thanks for keeping up with me because, it's hard to do videos every day, but I try to do it, because I want to keep my fans occupied and I want to make sure they have content for me from me so that they can see. So that's my review of Fantastic Four. My quick, little thoughts on it, the pros and the cons, and I will review the next one next time. So see you next time and take care, guys.